Destination weather forecast, your first stop, courtesy of your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Winds news time 7:33. 3 Staten Island teens died in a crash on Highland Boulevard Sunday night. A 15-year-old boy and 2 girls, ages 15 and 16, were passengers in a Ford Mustang driven by a 16-year-old boy. The driver in critical condition but stable tonight. The other car involved was a GMC Yukon, an SUV with 4 passengers. All the injuries suffered by people in the SUV were minor. The 3 teens were pronounced dead at the scene after 2 of them were ejected from the Mustang, including 16-year-old Fernanda Gill and her brother, 15-year-old Jesse Gill. 15-year-old Ashley Rodriguez. Juju Dubeg was a friend of Fernanda Gill.
Like, she'd always have your back. She was my best friend. I don't know what I'm going to do without her. Really easy to talk to.
The preliminary investigation is indicating that the SUV was heading eastbound on Highland and going to make a left turn onto Richard Ave when it collided with the Mustang traveling westbound on Highland in the vicinity of the intersection. Authorities say speed was likely a factor given the nature of the collision. The January 6th House Select Committee is set to hold another hearing Tuesday.
Tuesday's January 6th House Select Committee hearing marks the first public presentation since former White House counsel Pat Cipollone testified behind closed doors on Friday. A previous witness had Cipollone warned for then-President Trump not to travel to the Capitol on the day of the riots. It's also the first hearing since former White House strategist Steve Bannon said he would also be willing to testify. The hearing is expected to focus on the roles of far-right extremist groups on the day of the insurrection. Another hearing is reportedly set for Thursday. I'm Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
A government investigation into 10 airlines and missing or delayed refunds is over, and punishment could be coming soon.
The Transportation Department isn't saying which 10 airlines were involved in the completed investigations. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says there are 10 more ongoing probes. They involve airlines that either delayed refunds or never refunded money for canceled flights during the pandemic. Last November, Air Canada agreed to a $4.5 million settlement with DOT after it was threatened with more than $25 million in fines.
Correspondent Peter King, speaking with Fox News Sunday, Pete Buttigieg said that while he has seen some improvement, it is still not to an acceptable level. He pointed to incidents of airlines that not only canceled flights but then failed to give passengers refunds. Another delay in the Frontier Spirit Airlines merger. Frontier admitting it's still short of the shareholder votes it needs to merge, and it's asking for more time. In a letter made public today, Frontier CEO Barry Biffle said his airline is very far from winning approval by Spirit shareholders who are weighing a higher price buyout offer from JetBlue. Row, row, row your boat gently down It turns out millennials don't know their classic lullabies. A new poll shows about 53% of millennials can recite a blah, 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 black sheep, and only 51% know row, row, row your boat. In broader terms, just about 10% of modern parents avoid singing lullabies to their kids entirely. Why? Most cite either feeling awkward or thinking they have an awful singing voice. The survey was conducted by One Poll. Wins News Time 7:36. Beanie Feldstein is leaving Funny Girl on Broadway. 1010 Wins Entertainment is next.
Each week, at least one child dies from heat stroke after being left alone in a car. Often, these incidents are not a matter of neglect, but even the most responsible, loving parents are liable to forget a child in the car due to sleep deprivation, stress, or a change in routine which can lead to fatal results. As temperatures continue to soar, take steps to ensure a child is never forgotten in a hot car. Download the Cars for Kids Safety app today at carsforkids.org/safety app. Remember, that's cars with a K.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they had atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Is your old bulk tank water heater dying? That's a good thing, because now you have the perfect excuse to get that Navien tankless water heater. Hot water as much as you need, only when
when you need it. Your old tank hot water heater kept pouring your money into itself. A Navien only heats water when you need it heated. Rest of the time, you're just saving the bucks. Put new life into your hot water. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com today and check out Navien's strong warranty too. Water, heat it only when you need it with Navien.
Wins News Time 7:38. Now 10:10 Wins Entertainment News. Broadway's new funny girl is calling it a wrap.
Hello, gorgeous. Beanie Feldstein is leaving the Funny Girl revival at the end of the month. In an Instagram post, the actress explains that once the production decided to take the musical in a different direction, she made what she calls the extremely difficult decision to step away sooner than her plan for late September. Feldstein's gotten mixed reviews. The show's social media is teasing new cast announcements. Barbra Streisand originated the role of Fanny Bryce on Broadway in 1964.
That was correspondent Deborah Rodriguez. Wins News Time 7:39. Top stories now.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me, and they were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We've got tickets for you to see Elton John on his farewell tour at MetLife Stadium. Listen tomorrow through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for your chance to win.
The Newswatch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, 76 degrees at 7:40. I'm Monique Coppola, and here's what's happening. Mayor Adams is holding a community safety event tonight following another violent weekend in the city with 2 police-involved shootings. A 10th inmate died over the weekend at Rikers. Today, a Department of Correction officer was fired. Monkeypox cases continue to climb, but the city received a new shipment of vaccine with new appointments being offered tomorrow. Birth control pills for women could soon be available over the counter. Better hurry, National 7-Eleven Day ends tonight, and with it, your chance to get a free Slurpee. In sports, the Mets play in Atlanta tonight. AccuWeather says mostly clear, low 70 in the city, mid-60s across the suburbs. Wins News Time 7:41. Time for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Now, we are still bunched up on the B2E either way to the Brooklyn Bridge. You got westbound company from Wythe Avenue, eastbound from the Prospect. The other side of the Lower East River, it's getting a little better. Looks like they're making quick progress getting rid of this crash on the northbound side of the FDR Drive, getting up towards the area of the Montgomery Street exit. Now, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Not a whole lot on this summer Monday. Citybound George is fine. Northbound or west side, just a couple of taps on the brakes getting past the crash in the 1-teens with only 1 lane blocked. In the Cross Bronx, only slow now from Jerome Avenue over to the George. Everything else is smooth sail. Lincoln and Holland in pretty good shape. Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge remains slow, but you got the Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge, and Battery Tunnel Brooklyn bound as other options at this hour. Now, the ride in Jersey, Garden State Parkway, the New Jersey Turnpike, they are in pretty decent shape at this hour. The ride at this point on Long Island, pretty good. LI, Northern State, and Southern State, no major issues east and west through Nassau and Suffolk. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report is 7:51 on 1010 Wins.
Mayor Adams is holding a community safety event following another violent weekend in the city, following the 2 police-involved shootings in which 2 suspects died. The mayor says he wants to release body camera footage from police incidents so people can see what these cops are up against. Fernando Mateo, the head of the United Bodegas of America, is calling for the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, to drop charges against 61-year-old Jose Alba, a bodega worker who was attacked and is being charged with murder for fighting back and killing his attacker. Mateo has a meeting planned with DA Alvin Bragg for Tuesday at 11 in the morning. Alba, who is out on bail, is breaking his silence, telling the New York Post that he's very sorry, apologizing to the dead man's family, saying he's very sad over the whole ordeal. Alba was charged with murder for fatally stabbing 35-year-old Austin Simon after he stormed behind the counter of the Hamilton Heights bodega and accosted him. Alba grabbed a knife and stabbed Simon 5 times. It was all caught on video. Video that Mateo and others say proves Alba was acting in self-defense. More trouble at Rikers. A 10th inmate died Sunday of a suspected drug overdose, and the Daily News is reporting a Department of Correction officer was fired today because of it. Inmate Elijah Mohammed was found unresponsive inside the island's George Vierno Center at about 9:45 Sunday night. He died at the jail. Jails Commissioner Luis Molina said a review of Mohammed's death required that they take immediate action. And that action against some staff. The DOC did not disclose what the officer did to warrant his firing. A DOC spokeswoman said the cause of Mohammed's death was still under investigation. The city's medical examiner's office will be conducting an autopsy. With the U.S. engaged in aiding Ukraine in its fight against Russia, and Russian President Vladimir Putin making unspecific nuclear threats earlier this year, New York City is releasing a nuclear attack preparedness public service announcement. The PSA encourages New Yorkers to take key simple steps in the event of such an incident. Christina Farrell is the first deputy commissioner for the New York City Office of Emergency Management.
There is no specific threat at this time, but as we do a lot of preparedness events across the city with all different New Yorkers, and we also survey New Yorkers to ask them, how prepared they feel, and just due to the low probability but the high impact that a nuclear attack would have.
The 90-second video starts with shots of a destroyed city, and according to the PSA, there are 3 basic steps to take. Number 1, get inside of a building fast and move away from any windows. Head to the basement if possible. Stay inside and shut doors and windows, and stay put and stay tuned. Well, just how worried are New Yorkers about a nuclear attack? We asked some.
The government spends so much money on nuclear submarines. I'd hope they'd be able to sort it out.
Trying to survive and make sure we don't get monkeypox or COVID and just basic necessities and just trying to survive on the daily is more what I'm thinking about right now.
And if you'd like to check out the PSA, we have it up on our website at 1010wins.com. Speaking of monkeypox, vaccine appointments are available starting tomorrow afternoon. The health department says the city is receiving over 14,000 doses, and appointments will be available to New Yorkers when the next round of appointments become available. That's tomorrow, Tuesday at 1 in the afternoon. They say an unfortunate glitch made the last round of appointments available prematurely, prompting a flood of confusion. New appointments will go online for eligible New Yorkers. Again, tomorrow at 1 for vaccinations at the department's Central, Harlem, Chelsea, and Corona sexual health clinics. City health officials say there's been an 84% increase in presumed monkeypox cases in just the last week, bringing the total in the city to 160. Health officials say the risk to the general public is low. Most cases are being identified with men who have sex with other men. COVID-19 cases are ticking up in the city. Once again, the city health department is urging New Yorkers to mask up indoors and in crowded outdoor areas. This comes as the latest Omicron variant, BA.5, has become the dominant strain in the U.S. Health officials say there has not been any dramatic spike in hospitalizations. Gas prices are dropping a bit, but will the trend continue?
Gassed up and ready to go. Driver Ivan Eliviano from Forest Hill says he's relieved he's not paying as much for gas today as he did back in June.
I feel in my wallet, but what I can do.
The national average has come down from its peak this year of $5.03 to $4.66, according to Gas Buddy. Poppy Belitis from Douglaston says it was a rough ride last spring.
I'm living with my Social Security. How can I pay the gas?
Experts predict that prices will fall a little more, but they also warn that this relief is temporary. So drivers, buckle up. Darius Ramsey is 1010 Wins at the BP station off the LIE in Little Neck.
And with the check of prices today, AAA says a gallon of regular in New York State, $4.80. In the city, $4.86. New Jersey, $4.71. And Connecticut, $4.63. Birth control pills could soon be available over the counter. Details coming up.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document, and then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert, and that's bad news for home title thieves.
So the problem with a company like Home Title Lock is that they can get me in the middle of the crime, and that's your worst fear.
Are you already a victim? Find out today with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value, free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
It's news time 7:49. In another effort to fortify abortion rights for women across the nation, the Biden administration is telling hospitals that it will aggressively enforce a federal law that calls on doctors to stabilize patients who need emergency medical treatment.
The Biden administration is making it clear to hospitals and doctors nationwide that they can still provide abortions even in states that restrict it if they believe ending a pregnancy will protect the mother's health. The standard under federal law is not new, but it's one more way the administration is trying to blunt the impact of the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade. Health and Human Services also said their goal was to provide clarity to states where laws are vague as to what may qualify as a medical emergency. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
The FDA will soon consider an historic new option for women.
A birth control pill for women could soon be approved for sale over the counter at drugstores. HRA Pharma submitting an application to the FDA for approval of the first of its kind non-prescription pill to prevent pregnancy. The company's CEO calls it groundbreaking and noted the timing just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down the abortion rights law under Roe v. Wade, saying it's a sad coincidence. The FDA now needs to consider the application, the pill's safety and side effects. Approval could be a year away.
Correspondent Derek Dennis with that. It's news time 7:51. Time for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, you got new trouble in Queens, eastbound Grand Central, a couple of right lanes out after the Long Island Expressway. It's all because of a wreck. You got a minivan spun around the wrong way with some airbags deployed. So if you're trying to get down to the Kew Gardens in the Van Wyck, you just take the Van Wyck from the LI there and you save yourself the trouble. That's how that works. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, good enough to the upper and lower. Cross Bronx, a bit slow from Jerome Avenue, and really, that's the worst of it getting out of town. Northbound and west side, a couple of taps on the brakes, and the 1-teens with a wreck in the left lane near 110th Street. Lincoln and Holland, no more than a few either way. Westbound LI, starting to slow to the Cross Island. You're not in the truck, you're on the northern state instead. Van Wyck, once you're there, you do have some extra company either way to Atlantic Avenue. Here's what you see, here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. LI and northern state are fine. Southern state westbound, maybe a couple of taps on the brakes getting over to Peninsula Boulevard, but Sunrise Highway westbound through Nassau County, even better. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones. Breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 8:01 on 1010 Wins.
Now, the AccuWeather 4-day forecast is tomorrow a beach day. Meteorologist John Furyk.
I think for the most part it actually is. It looks like the thunderstorms probably hold off until late in the day tomorrow. So morning, midday, early afternoon should be fine at the beach tomorrow. It's going to be a hot one. Tonight, pretty comfortable still, mostly clear. Down to 70 in Midtown, mid-60s in some suburbs. Then we're up to 91 tomorrow afternoon before the storms arrive. And then again, those storms come in late in the day, last into the evening. Storms capable of producing gusty winds, maybe even some small hail. Then we'll dry out later tomorrow night. Low 74. Still hot, but less humid on Wednesday. Some sunshine, high of near 90. And then mainly dry Thursday and Friday with highs in the mid-80s. Right now in Central Park, we've got 76 with sunshine, humidity 48%, wind south and 15. Repeating the current temperature, 76, going down to 70 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Eric on New York's weather station, 1010 wind.
Wind news time 7:53.
America's leading internet provider just got even faster. Switch to Spectrum Internet, and you now get starting speeds of up to 300 megabits per second. Faster speeds for streaming, faster speeds for gaming, faster speeds for working or learning, all with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it better, safer, and now even faster with Spectrum Internet. Visit Spectrum.com for details. Based on internet subscribers among top ISPs, speeds may vary. Restrictions apply.
Make your money go further and work harder with a certified financial planner from Facet Wealth. Inflation, interest rates, stock market changes, home prices. Every advisor at Facet is a certified financial planner and fiduciary, and they're legally bound to do what's in your best interest. Facet has a simple flat fee. There are no commissions. Call 888-598-3893 for 2 months free off your first year of financial planning. That's 888-598-3893. Try FacetWealth.com. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice.
Wind news time 7:54. National 7-Eleven Day is back. This year, 7-Eleven Slurpee Day is celebrating the brand's 95th birthday with the biggest and best deals yet. For the first time ever, Slurpee Day is taking place across all 7-Eleven, Speedway, and Stripe stores. Well, today's the last day. You can get their free small Slurpee drink. It started on the 1st. It ends tonight via the Rewards program, loyalty program, and that's not all. You'll also receive an exclusive Slurpee Day Cup, which you can refill and sip on for just $1. You can take advantage of the National Day through midnight at any and all 7-Eleven, Speedway, and Stripe stores. Would you like some fries with that? McDonald's and Wendy's are giving away free fries this week on Wednesday in celebration of the apparently real National French Fry Day. McDonald's will give away free orders of large fries. No purchase necessary, so it's really free. However, the free fries can only be ordered through the McDonald's app, and customers must be members of the chain's loyalty program. Ditto for Wendy's, but they're doing different specials with the fries. For example, on Tuesday, at Wendy's, you can get free medium fries, but you've got to make a purchase with any salad. Ultimately, the goal for McDonald's and Wendy's and other chains with loyalty programs is to increase sales and lure in customers. Wind news time 7:55. Bloomberg Money Watch coming up next.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-933-1022. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-933-1022 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-933-1022.
Wind news time 7:56. Now Bloomberg Money Watch.
3 months after saying it's looking into creating an ad-supported option to its streaming platform, Netflix is now looking for an executive to lead it. Wall Street Journal says execs at several firms, including Comcast and formerly at Hulu, are being considered. Netflix says no final decisions surrounding an ad-supported tier have been made. The group, which agreed last month to buy the NFL's Denver Broncos for a record $4 2/3 billion, is led by an heir to the Walmart family fortune, but the ownership group has a new member with an undisclosed stake, former U.S. State Secretary Condoleezza Rice, daughter of a high school football coach and a football enthusiast herself. In 2018, an ESPN report suggested the Cleveland Browns even wanted to interview Rice for its head coaching job. In coming weeks, hundreds of publicly traded companies report their earnings and sales for the spring quarter, and Wall Street's nervous about it. Today, the Dow lost 164, NASDAQ fell 263, S&P 500 down 45. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins.
Winds News Time 7:57.
Attention! This is a special alert for all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an overpriced auto warranty or no warranty coverage at all. Due to the increase of new and used car prices, repair costs, and the price of gas, people are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could save thousands on future auto repairs. Our specialists are standing by for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-524-1735. Vehicle Protection Plan pricing is at an all-time low. Plus, drivers who purchase this coverage today will receive rental car options, free roadside assistance, and free towing. Call 800-524-1735 now for your free quick quote. That's 800-524-1735. What do you have to lose? Call 800-524-1735. Again, 800-524-1735.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
WINS, WNEWHD3 New York.
1010 Wins delivers the best news fast. An Odyssey station.
Winds News Time 7:59. AccuWeather says mostly clear tonight. We've got a low overnight of 70 in the city, mid-60s across most suburbs. For the day tomorrow, partly sunny, becoming breezy, hot, and more humid. High 91. There'll be a thunderstorm or two in some parts of the tri-state late tomorrow afternoon and evening. Warm and humid tomorrow night with a low of 74. For Wednesday, still hot but becoming less humid with times of sun and clouds with a high of around 90 degrees. Thursday, partly sunny and warm, high 87. Friday, partly sunny, pleasant with a high of 85 degrees. 75 degrees right now, going down to 70 under clear skies in Central Park. More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. John Davis is our service aide. Sweet Tina Kakar at the editor's desk tonight. And I'm Monique Coppola.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins, New York.
75 degrees, clear skies at 8 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Lane DeJardi, and here's what's happening. After a violent weekend that included 2 deadly police-involved shootings, Mayor Adams is holding a community event tonight in Harlem. President Biden briefly interrupted at a White House event to mark the passage of the bipartisan gun bill. The city of New York has a new message for you about how you should prepare for the threat of nuclear war. A federal judge today refused to delay the contempt of Congress trial of Steve Bannon while also rejecting most of his arguments and defenses. We're paying less for gasoline. The price is falling, but not as fast as most people would like to see. Sports, the Mets are in Atlanta. Robinson Cano is in the starting lineup for the Braves tonight. There's no score in the top of the third. AccuWeather mostly clear, low 70 in town, mid-60s across most suburbs. Nice tonight, but a change is coming. We'll tell you about it after traffic. Winds News Time 8:01, traffic and transit. We say good evening to Kelly Dillon.
Good evening in Queens. The eastbound Grand Central quite busy approaching the LIE where there is a spin out knocking out the right and center lane. So traffic here quickly backing up the BQE bumper to bumper both ways approaching Atlantic Avenue tonight. Northbound on the FDR Drive right past the Manhattan Bridge, a new crash that blocks at least a lane. Also trouble on the northbound Henry Hudson Parkway in the 1 teens. An accident here blocking the left and center lanes. Not too bad on the Cross Bronx or the Deegan. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We're pretty quiet now across the George, both ways on the upper and lower decks. No delays either way at the Lincoln or Holland right now. Across the Brooklyn Bridge, looking okay in either direction. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Through Nassau County, looking okay. No construction, no delays right now on the LIE, the northern or southern state parkways. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Kelly Dillon on 1010 Winds.
Change in the weather. Our top stories in a moment, but first, it's been quite comfortable today and tonight, but a big change ahead tomorrow. Let's check in with AccuWeather meteorologist John Furyk.
Yeah, certainly a change on the way. Today was very comfortable out there. Really a nice evening. But we're going to see the heat build tomorrow. Humidity increases as well. We're going to top out in the low 90s. It's going to feel like the heart of July, like it should. But then a couple of heavy gusty storms will come in later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening along the coast. At the beaches, it's probably still a decent beach day. Storms may hold off until closer to sunset, but again, those storms roll in here later tomorrow, and then behind that, humidity drops again for Wednesday. Lane?
All right, lock it in to 1010 Winds for updates on that situation as those storms move through tomorrow. Mayor Adams holding a community event tonight after another bloody summer weekend on the streets of the city. It's a packed house at his second community conversation on public safety, happening at the PAL Harlem Center at 441 Manhattan Avenue. The mayor was interrupted as he spoke about his childhood. A person in the audience called him out, and he responded.
We got to stay focused and not get distracted. That's what we must do. Because people want to spend time on what they disagree on and not spend time what we agree on.
Ahead of this event, the mayor said he wants the release of body camera footage from police events expeditiously, more quickly than in the past after a pair of police-involved shootings left 2 men dead over the weekend. President Biden showcasing a new law meant to reduce gun violence, even as he urges more steps to stop mass shootings.
16 days after signing the bipartisan bill.
Will not save every life.
But the president says it will save some today and tomorrow. Still,
we're living in a country awash in weapons of war.
Renewing his call for Congress to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and also pass a law holding gun owners legally accountable if their weapons are improperly stored and then used to commit violence.
No one else should have access to it, so lock it up!
While the event here was billed as a celebration, gun control advocates say it's premature to declare victory, noting a mass shooting outside Chicago just a week ago. Sagar Magani at the White House.
Mr. Biden was briefly interrupted at the event by the father of a victim of the Parkland, Florida school massacre, who said the bipartisan bill did not go far enough. Some of us are old enough to remember duck and cover drills in school in the event of a nuclear attack. They disappeared for a while and were then sadly replaced by even more harrowing active shooter drills today's kids are dealing with. As if there isn't enough stressing us today, there's this.
COVID, monkeypox, shootings, lootings. Now the city is giving us this heads up.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit.
That's part of a new public service announcement. I took the temperature on the street. Donna was burning up.
Get out. That's what you're hearing from me. Get out. No, we have enough problems. We're not going to have a nuclear attack.
OEM Deputy Commissioner Christina Farrell tells us,
I don't know if there's ever a great time to put out a nuclear preparedness PSA, but it is very important.
It tells you to stay inside, shower if you've been exposed to dust or ash, and keep tuned for news and notifications. Juliet Papa, 1010 Winds News.
That's right. Keep tuned for news and notifications like AccuWeather updates on nuclear winter. Experts say if there is a nuclear attack from Russia, we're toast, and so are they. Even if Russia's nukes hit U.S. military targets first, it would lead to a counterattack and eventually all remaining warheads would fire and render Earth a largely unlivable hellscape. Winds News time 8:06. Heartbreaking sorrow on Staten Island after 3 teens died in a crash on Highland Boulevard, including a brother and sister.
Friends and relatives have been arriving throughout the day at the home of Fernanda and Jesse Gill. The 16-year-old girl and her 15-year-old brother were both killed in a crash on Highland Boulevard. The Mustang they were in broke into 2 pieces. This next-door neighbor said it's a very close family. She said they always play soccer in their yard. Every day you hear them laughing, happy family. A family